Now, how many messages do you send on your mobile phone each day? A dozen? 100? How about 350,000? That is the number a Channel 4 News experiment discovered were being sent in the background by just one phone in just 24 hours. Channel 4 News has been running a project called the Data Baby. We've created a virtual persona that we can use to track what happens to our information online. And now it's given us a startling glimpse of just how much our phones are saying without us even knowing. Here's Sarah Smith.
Okay, talk to you later. Bye.
When you hang up, you would think your phone stops talking too, but you'd be wrong. Your phone has a secret life you probably don't know anything about. It's communicating all the time with people you've never met, telling them where you are and what you're doing. We're going to show you how, even when you aren't using it, your phone is sharing your secrets with strangers all over the world.
To help us with this experiment, let me introduce you to Rebecca Taylor, our data baby. Rebecca's not a real person. She's actually just a laptop and a smartphone, but she has a fully fledged online identity. We've devised a Facebook page for her, opened a Twitter account. She even posts on Pinterest. In other words, she behaves online like any normal user. But we can track precisely where she goes and what happens to her information online. And we can use her to test what information your smartphone is giving away all the time without you knowing about it.
We've been using her to help with our investigations into online security. She helped to expose the trade in fake Facebook likes.
You're going through my email.
And she assisted us in exposing how easy it is for people to hack into your email. Now Rebecca and her human assistant have helped us reveal how much information her phone is giving away. And it's a shocking amount. Over 24 hours, her phone made a total of 350,000 requests to 315 different servers, exposing details like the phone's unique ID number. Precise information about where the phone was located was sent to an ad agency in the Ukraine. Information identifying the phone was sent to 5 more advertising firms overseas. And even when idle for 45 minutes, it still made 30,000 requests to 76 different servers. And if Rebecca's phone is leaking all this data, then yours probably is too.
It was connecting out to countries in Europe and then also further afield, so over to China and Australia.
Rob, our IT security expert, showed me all the different places all over the globe where the phone is connected to in just 24 hours.
You see, he's got me intrigued now because...
For us to be able to reveal the secret life of your phone, we had to ask Rob to build us a brand new, bespoke little black box and show us how it works.
So this phone we've reconfigured so that it communicates exclusively to this computer. So this tiny computer has a Wi-Fi dongle which receives the information. We can then record all the traffic before it then gets broadcast out on the 3G dongle out eventually to the internet.
And you end up with it on the laptop where you can show us everything that happened?
That's right.
What level of detail is there in here of personal, private information you wouldn't necessarily want to be broadcasting to the world?
So the common ones we saw time and time again were unique identifiers to the phone and your geolocation.
Exactly.
Yeah, so some of them were actually very, very accurate, pinning you right down to the actual street corner that you might have been on at the time.
Gosh.
So does it matter if your phone is giving away your precise location? Well, we know hackers are already collecting this information to use for criminal purposes. And that all kinds of agencies are increasingly interested in where we go and what we do. Information we may not wish to give away. We've been asking you to tweet us about your mobile phone habits. So now we know only 9% of respondents turn their phones off at night. And if you're part of the 91% who don't, beware. Just because you're asleep doesn't mean your phone is idle.
Scary stuff there from Sarah Smith. Well, Sarah's with us now. You've been finding out an awful lot about how people use their phones, but also what happens to online security with all this?
Yes, we have, and as well as this experiment, we've also been tweeting out questions every hour for 24 hours to find out a bit more about how our viewers use their phones, because that's important and revealing. It's not scientific, because we just ask people to tweet in the questions, but it is revealing. It's often via the apps you've installed on your phone that you end up sending out this information unwittingly. So the first thing we asked people was, how many apps have you got installed on your phone and how many of them are you using right now? 25% of respondents said they had over 100 apps on their phone. 22 Bishop said he had 111 installed and he was using 3 right now: Twitter, Facebook and Zeit.
So if you want to turn off this flow of information while you're asleep or doing something else, do you have to just get rid of all the apps, turn the phone off?
Well, one thing, unless you could do that, but if you don't want to turn the phone off, you can check very carefully before you install apps what the terms and conditions say, instead of just hitting agree. So we asked our viewers, have you ever decided not to install an app because of the permissions that it asked for? The surprising answer was a resounding yes, actually. Obviously, our Data Baby followers are very privacy conscious. Rich Amy's said, yes, I now also restrict what applications can see of me. Each tick means restrict. And that's interesting because app developers are going to have to think about this in the future. Better data security if they want people to use these apps. Now, we asked 22 other questions as well. The answers are all very interesting. You can find them on our website, channel4.com/news.
Sarah Smith, thank you very much indeed.